Global tech outage is not a result of a cybersecurity attack. I know that's kind of the first thing you think and worry about, but instead a defect in CrowdStrike's software update pushed out to Microsoft is to blame here.
Atlanta News First investigator Sierra Cummings is in the studio with us today. Sierra, I don't think a lot of us ever heard of CrowdStrike before today.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Just from the impacts alone today, it's clear this single firm is one of the largest providers of cybersecurity for airlines, banks, healthcare, energy companies, and other major businesses. Today's glitch all goes back to that software update. Here's what we know. The outage is connected to a specific CrowdStrike software called Falcon, which is on its Microsoft Windows operating system. The company says Falcon is designed to protect all files saved in the cloud. It detects and blocks hacking threats. So what happened today? Think of CrowdStrike like a web. Everything on its computer system is interconnected, including Microsoft Windows. Today, CrowdStrike issued a software code update, and turns out that code was faulty. That caused a domino effect. Any computer relying on a Microsoft Windows operating system faced crashing. In some cases, that meant a blue screen error. We saw it right here in our newsroom. It's worth noting CrowdStrike is known for actually running cybersecurity investigations for the U.S. government. The firm investigated the Russian hack of the Democratic National Committee computers during the 2016 election. CrowdStrike says today's global outage was not the result of hacking. In the studio, I'm Sierra Cummings, Atlanta News First Investigate.
Thank you, Sierra.